Component 2 of the EDUCAS specification asks you to study the teleological argument for the existence of God. In this section of the course, we will develop your knowledge and understanding of the content of this argument from the perspective of a variety of scholars. This film will look in particular at the Thomist argument within his fifth way. The teleological argument is often referred to as the design argument. It is an a posteriori argument, which means that it relies upon empirical evidence to come to its conclusions. As an inductive argument, it gives us premises that lead us to a possible conclusion, and we must assess how likely we find that conclusion to be. It is a synthetic argument in that it uses empirical evidence to come to its conclusions and makes statements that are checkable with empirical evidence. It is an analogical argument in that it draws comparisons or analogies between phenomena within the world to compare with the world itself. Teleological argument comes from the root of the Greek word telos, meaning end or purpose. These ideas should all be included in an introduction to an essay on the design argument. The teleological argument says that within the world there is evidence of design. Take for instance the computer upon which I'm working to produce this film. It has certain marks of design. It has order. There is organisation to the parts that are formed and adjusted to work together. There is regularity. These parts work together consistently and with repetition. There's a structure and they're not performing randomly. There is complexity. There are many composite parts to this machine. It's sophisticated, complex, it's not simple. And there is a purpose. These parts work together to do so for a reason. In this case, the purpose is to allow me to produce a document for study purposes. Aquinas' version of the argument can be found in the fifth of his 5 ways or demonstratio in Summa Theologica. In summary, the argument can be said to go something like this. All natural occurrences show evidence of purpose. The purpose in all things infers design. Things that lack knowledge cannot achieve anything unless directed by a thing with knowledge. There is therefore an intelligent being that directs everyone towards a purpose, a designer. For Aquinas, this being is God. This argument focuses on 2 areas in particular that are considered to be marks of design: regularity and purpose. Aquinas noticed that the universe works with regularity. He noticed that the planets or natural bodies work with regularity, order and repetition as though like a machine. When we see the feature of regularity, order and repetition in a man-made machine, we attribute them to a designer. This must be the case here too. Aquinas relies on a very strong claim about the explanation for ends or purposes and processes. The existence of any end-directed or purposeful system or process can be explained logically only by the existence of an intelligent being who directs that system or process towards its end. What this means is that if the universe has purpose, then the only way that this can be explained is through an entity who gave it a purpose and ensures that the purpose is achieved. Since the operations of all natural bodies, on Aquinas' view, are directed towards some specific purpose, these operations can be explained only by the existence of an intelligent being. The empirical fact that the operations of natural objects are directed towards a purpose or end shows that an intelligent deity exists. Aquinas gave the example of an arrow. He points out that an inanimate object cannot direct itself towards the purpose for which it exists because it does not have the intelligence to do so. Thus it needs an intelligent being to point it towards its purpose and ensure that it achieves it. An arrow cannot move towards a target unless an archer directs it. Equally, the universe and the content of it cannot move towards its purpose unless it is directed by a kind of celestial archer. This is God. This analogy shows that God is a being with intelligence and is capable of deliberate action.